Kia ora, and welcome to Tough Tutorials. For those of you who don't know what kia ora means, it is welcome in Māori. I'm from New Zealand. Māori is the New Zealand native language, so kia ora, and welcome to Tough Tutorials. Today, we are going to be covering color palette. Okay, so often as a florist, you get an event of sorts and you're asked to go down a particular color palette, or you're advising someone on a color palette. The season can inform this, and also just the aesthetic of the event. So how do you determine a color palette? How do you weed out all of these beautiful colors? I so often find myself going, well, all flowers are beautiful. I bet if I put them all together, it will be beautiful. So why select one particular color? The answer really is preference of a vibe, the season, or something else that I don't know. But the point is, you're just gonna wanna look over your colors, right? In this case, I'm gonna choose like a blush color palette. Now, that might be more kind of commonly thought of as pink, but I think blush because it covers a spectrum, right? You can go from white all the way to like dark red or burgundy. And everywhere in between there, you've got blushy pink, you've got soft tones, you've got like vibrant tones. You go into all the way through red and down to like purple somewhat, and all the way down to a burgundy. So we obviously have a table here full of color. We got blue and orange and yellow and red. We got burgundy, we got green. We got all these colors. So hopefully by removing some of these other colors, we'll be left with a blush, pink, red sort of color palette. So let's get to it. I'm gonna just start with getting rid of these guys. They kind of are a red, but they sort of tend to sort of read a bit orange, and I think that that's not quite where we want to go. I think that this goes a bit orange. These two are definitely reddy orange. We got a very green. Let's get rid of these blues. Let's also take care of this orange. I got a green and yellow. That's not yellow, that's blue. Green and blue. This guy, I'm gonna also pull orange. Yellow and white, that's not gonna be on the vibe. These guys are red, which I do feel like could work, but they're so red that I don't think they're gonna read well with like the pink, you know? Another blue. This is too red again. And there's a couple other colors. Let me put these down. Get that in here, actually. Oh. Okay. Let's see. Yellow, this is an us. I don't think we're gonna be using any of this Solidago. It's been dyed, so it comes out with this burgundy, which I could see working, but because of the yellow flowers, I think that that just sort of doesn't feel quite right. And if we want burgundy, we can always go with the Agones. So we will pull these. Last sort of question in my mind is the Aster. I'm gonna leave the Aster as a little like surprise. Obviously, this is very blush, very pink, very on palette, but it has that yellow center, which is not, right? That's why we're taking out this stuff. But I'm gonna leave it just as a little surprise, you know? There's nothing wrong with stepping outside of the palette just for a moment, just to kind of add some contrast and some perspective. So let's sort of pull together our palette and see if it gives us this overall vibe that we're looking for. I'm gonna toss down this Leucadendron. As you can see, green for sure. Green is like the black of flowers in a way, right? Like often black comes out in certain things. I mean, it's almost just in shadows. You look at me and I see black even though I'm not wearing black because the shadows turn black, right? I see that all around me in certain moments. So green is that for flowers. We got this acacia. It has a very purple and a very like burgundy sort of soft blush tone, and I know that it complements a blush palette because I've done this before. So we'll put a bit of that in there. We have obviously this beautiful tryptamine as it like pops with these pinks. Perfect. See if we can get that into a nice little spot. We have a nice pink or blush colored Snapdragon. Let's toss a bit more tryptamine. I'm kind of making a little bit of an arrangement on the table here just so that it helps us see all the different textures and colors. Protea, obviously on palette. There's that pop of Aster. There's our Burgundy Agones. We have this sort of purple wax flower, but I think it reads, just kind of like deepens and darkens the tone. You got this purple carnation that has like a little light moment to it. Certainly if you open up, you start to see a little more of the pink. Shows a nice transition. Got these two calla lilies, absolutely on palette. Tulip, little bit of this wax flower, white, but if you look closely, you see it has these little pink moments in the back there, which should read up into the front as well. Ideal, just to kind of lighten the whole palette. These carnations have like a weird kind of, almost like blush to cream to flesh. So I think there again, a nice moment where it just lightens up the color a little bit so that it's not all so dark, almost contrasts those burgundy colors. And if we whack this guy in, you certainly don't have to use all your materials. This is a nice little tone. I'll be honest, this isn't the most fresh and beautiful stem, but when these guys peach out at the top, at the tips, this is a Aussie pine. They are one of the sickest things to put into a blush palette. But look, we've eliminated a lot of colors from the table, and we find ourselves with a very, very like beautiful, light, elegant, feminine, if you will, color palette that I think everyone will be very happy with if they're after a blush palette. Well, I guess that's us for color palette for today. I think we've achieved a pretty nice blush palette. I get so tripped out by these Protea and the way that they just get so soft and just pick up the light. They're beautiful. Anyhow, look, we will be coming to you with many how-tos, DIYs. If there's anything out there that you're trying to DIY but you don't know where to start by sending us an email, leaving us a comment, or just sending us a DM on Instagram and letting us know that you're interested in learning something, and maybe we can make the mistake. We being myself, I can make the mistake for you, and I can learn how to do it, and you can learn from me. Cool. Thanks so much for tuning in. See you on the next one. Peace.